What is up, Rich Runner Nation? Welcome to another episode of VOSS Talks. And you know what they say? New Year, same VOSS. Anyways, that was my pitiful attempt at a funny entry to tonight's live show. But we are stoked to be back and joining you. With any luck, Wesley will also be joining us shortly. He's having some difficulties with some work things, and also the fact that there's maybe supposed to be a foot of snow in Montana by like later tonight. Um, Although, that is what it is. So, you know, we'll go ahead and get tonight's show started off by, talking about what we usually do, which is not goals, but what beers we're drinking. And I don't know if Nick Voss has any beer related goals, but it wouldn't really surprise me if I learned about those tonight. So do you want to kick us off, Nick?
Sure. Yeah. I actually came in right at the perfect time because it is stout month. And this isn't quite a stout that I have here, but it's a winter warmer. So it's got honey, spices, fresh ginger, orange, and lemon peel from a local brewery here in Golden called Over Yonder. It's called Childhood Memories.
Nice.
All of my childhood memories of beer are like Natty Ice. So I don't know what they're referencing there. People must do it different in Colorado.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be the memories of beer. That's for sure. Maybe the flavors.
Okay. And what about you, John? What are you drinking tonight?
I've got myself an Indian Pale Ale from Cigar City Brewing. Complete opposite of what Nick's got over there. Definitely more of a spicier take on the starting the year out. So that's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie's already
Is
in the
that
chat.
the Hyalai?
Yes. Maggie's already in the chat, and she says Wesley's probably sneaking in miles for Winter Challenge. And that's probably true. But
I really hope he's having a better time doing it than I did earlier today, because on the Kim Williams Trail, there's nearly like it's ankle deep snow. Like it was not ideal conditions for my run today. But yeah, John, actually, funnily enough, I had one of those beers, well, a few actually, just around last year at Long Haul 100 in Florida,
nice.
which it's feeling very not Floridian right now in Montana, but
yeah,
it's a weird little crossover we've got.
But for everyone who's watching, if you want to get on the show tonight, you can call in. But basically the way that works is you just text that number that you see over wherever yonder it is. I can't do that thing.
It's above me.
It's above Cam. Text that number, and I will get you a number sent back to you that's a one push like mobile dial number. So like you just push it and then let it go, and it dials like the room number and everything to join the Zoom call. So make sure you shoot us a text. Let us know when you want to come on. Tonight's, obviously we're talking goals. So if you want to chime in. Cam, what are you drinking over there?
So in honor of the snow, I've actually got a Bitterroot Brewing Snow Church Milkshake India Pale Ale. What makes it a milkshake pale ale? I'm hoping Nick Voss will let me know. But it tastes
Yeah,
nice,
sure. So they just add some lactose in there. Come on.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's right. Yeah, it
All
just
right,
makes it
well,
kind of a cloudier, hazier beer.
And I've learned my fun fact for the day, so I'm going to go ahead and log off. Just kidding, y'all. But yeah, as John said, obviously this is our New Year goals show, and we are excited to talk about all things 2022, and really dig into and hear what you guys are excited for in this coming year, and we're going to also chat about what we're excited for in this coming year. And I think we'll go ahead and start off by our lovely tech wizard there, John, doesn't get as much screen time in the show, but he hit a pretty solid goal today, and I think he'd like to talk about it at least.
Oh, the stair challenge. I don't know if it was a solid goal. I think I should have pushed a lot harder on that. Anyways, it started today with a nice Sea Otter competition today for the 2022 steps, stairs, if you want to call them, I guess. So I just did some repeats over on the Buckeye Trail. And like I said, I was expecting it to be more difficult than I thought it ended up being. So I didn't push as hard as I probably should have. So that just means I'm going to have to run harder this week. But it's a good start to the year so far. We're in third place, and I think we're still in third place, are we?
Well, if Wesley
I
would log some miles, I don't want to jump right into like a rant of the year, rant of the week kind of thing, but everybody listening who's doing the SEOTR Winter Virtual Challenge, you got to enter your miles. Just do it daily. That's the whole point of a leaderboard. Otherwise, we can't see where you're at. And don't give me that, I don't have enough time. We all waste all this time running. So just throw your stats in there every day after your run so everybody can see where everybody's at.
And if you haven't done it yet,
Wesley's slacking.
yeah, and if you haven't done it yet, you got plenty of time to do it while you're listening to us talk. So you can just get that other tab open on your browser over there and start entering your miles. So I guess we can jump into our goals first. I don't know who wants to go first, but I'm going to pick Cam because I think Cam deserves to talk about his goals for this year. And we're going to go with that. Oh, before we jump into that, Wesley's in the chat too. He's also work issues, throwing shots for no reason, but well deserved, I think, there.
Yeah, and there's going to be plenty of shots thrown anytime we get the four of us together. So I don't know why he's saying for no reason. I think the reason is just because that's just what it's like being around. But yeah, if we want to talk about 2022 goals, I think, I've got two kinds of goals that I'm thinking of, like my personal, like my life goals, obviously, that are outside of running. And then I obviously make running, running goals. Everyone does. Well, maybe not everyone, I'm waiting on somebody to let me know that, no, that's a really bad take. But I've had plenty of cold takes on this show before, and it is what it is. But essentially, as like simply put as I can make it, my 2022 goals are to be kind and get fast. And of course, I don't know who's interested in what, but if you go back into, like the archive of things, I've often been, a person to say like, well, hey, like fitness is fitness and speed is speed. There's a reason, that sub 3 hour marathon mark is really a big indicator for who's going to perform well at an ultra. It's not the only thing, of course, but like just having that is a big changer for a lot of people. The fitness and training that goes into running that far and that fast consistently is something that is, yeah, it's a game changer for these kinds of distances that we like to run. But essentially the overall goal then with running is that I need to work better on periodization after spending, 2 years mostly, just doing like a lot of, for lack of a better term, just unorganized running. There was zero periodization. It was just a matter of, oh, well, I'll just add volume if I want to train for something, and then I just won't have volume if I don't. Often, even when I was trying to add volume, I wasn't adding, nearly enough, and definitely not at the kind of intensity that is going to match what my goals are. And like a really good sort of mental change in how I think of this, for me at least, has been taking something from the Roaches podcast that they talked about, which was, if you always walk up a hill on your normal training run, eventually that's selling yourself short. And I think I've kind of, even though I've played around with like periodization and doing speed work and stuff in the past, the way I was training for the last 2 years, frankly, was selling myself short. And it was not letting me live up to my potential as a runner. And that's sort of like the biggest change. I want to have this defined, these defined periods where I'm training for these faster goals. And, this kind of goes back into, after I first moved to Montana, one of my goals with that move was to like really start to love running again. Because honestly, before I moved, I was living in Columbus, Ohio, and waking up every morning before work to go run in the humidity, and then I would go run, and I would not have a good time. I was doing it almost out of like an obligation, and then I would just want to complain about the humidity. And if you followed me on Strava, you knew all of that already, because it's nothing I'll do more than complain about the weather on Strava. But it wasn't fun for me anymore, and it's honestly, it was to the point where after I moved here, running became so much more fun again. And I really kind of fell in love with it again for a second time because of just the way things are different out here. There were single track trails that I could get to from my door and run on every single day if I wanted to. And within short drives, there's hundreds and hundreds of miles of trails within Missoula, Montana, which just felt obscene compared to living in Ohio, where I was driving, upwards of an hour at least one way just to go run on trails every single day. And then, of course, you add in the kind of stress that you get just from commuting that much. It's really no wonder I wasn't having a ton of fun with this.
Mm.
But I think all of that is to say is that, like I'm having fun running again, even when there is ankle deep snow outside, for better or for worse. And, it's time to capitalize on that. And so I have a tentative third A race for this year, but I'm not quite sure I'll be able to make it there, just given some commitments that we may or may not have as Ridge Runners that I'm not going to discuss further, and what the dates of things are. But my two big races that I'm really going to target this year that I want to talk about is the Gorge Waterfalls 50K and then Run the Rut 50K. And if anybody knows Run the Rut 50K, they're like, you're going to train for that and your goal is to get fast. And that's kind of a stretch, right? Because I don't expect to run the Rut in anywhere near what would be classified as a fast 50K time anywhere else. It's a 50K with 10,000 feet of elevation gain in Big Sky, Montana. But knowing what I've learned about the running community here in Montana and Missoula, especially that run is kind of just this huge celebration for everybody. It seems like at the end of the year, and I am really looking forward to kind of capping my year off with something like that. After, ideally a summer with a lot of really big training and a lot of progress from me in terms of that. And then, my other big goal, and this is something I haven't talked a lot about here, but, I got into ultra running because I liked being outside. I liked hiking, I liked going camping. Back, when I first started running, I was still bow hunting every fall, which is maybe not a thing that people assumed that I've done. But last year, and I'm not going to make any excuses for this, but I went camping alone once all of last year, and it was after I moved. And that was something that I used to do, upwards of once a month going into the year on average. And that time away, like very disconnected, is very important for me to like almost remain myself, is how I want to put it. And so that is another one of those big goals, and it's like, it doesn't matter if it's car camping or if it's backpacking or what, but in Montana, for those of you who don't know, that less people live in Montana, a state that's the fourth largest in the country compared to like the Columbus, Ohio metropolitan area. So your ease of access to solitude is just really, really intense. You can get out on trails not near Missoula, really, because in my experience, no matter what's going on, you'll see people on trails in Missoula. It's like 15 degrees and dumping snow today, and I saw 3 people on the course of an hour run who were also out. But with just a little bit of a drive in essentially any direction from Missoula, you can get out and not see any other people when you're camping, even when you're car camping, which is just been such a huge change compared to Ohio, and something that I really enjoy about living here. So that's the other goal, and I'm not quite sure, how much that's going to work with the running, but I want to be, a weekend in the back country, and in that solitude, kind of at least once a month is the initial plan. So yeah, I mean those are most of my goals. What are the thoughts?
I think it's awesome. I've seen that happen with you over the past couple months. As you've kind of enjoyed being out in Missoula, your overall mileage and just adventure, like times doing adventures and going out places, has just dramatically gone up from that of being in Columbus. So it seems like you're already working towards that goal and doing really well at it. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree with what you're saying about having the rut as a goal, not really aligning with the speed aspect. Just know that going in, and
Yeah.
from what I remember, I mean, obviously, when I ran the rut, I was living in Ohio, and had never been exposed to trails anything like the high alpine, that you're going to get in the rut. But I remember looking down and thinking I was moving fairly quickly downhill through those just kicked in shale piled trails, and like seeing my pace was like 20.5 minutes per mile or 22 minutes per mile, on downhills. So, you can't go into it thinking you're going to make up time on the downhills of that course. That's for sure. Now, yeah, some of those uphills were like 40-minute miles or 50-minute miles too. But so it's definitely faster to go downhill, but by no stretch is it fast. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that kind of gets back to what I said, and I'm thinking specifically about when we were talking with David Riddle after his Super Bowl 50 win, last year, and he was talking about like, well, if you're going to be good at 50Ks, like you want to get good at like running marathons first, and like that fitness is going to translate at the end of the day. So whatever potential marathon shape I would be in, and I do have a marathon date circled on the calendar. It's just there's a pretty big race the day before that, and I probably won't be in Montana. But it's going to carry over, to where if my threshold pace is 8 minutes a mile, versus if it's 7 minutes a mile, that's going to help with the uphills and everything. Going down, like off of Lone Peak or Lone Mountain, I forget which one is the biggest one on the course there. I've heard stories already, but that's just gonna take time, and the more time I have to like go spend time and run in the Alpine. When I moved here, people were like, "Oh, when are you gonna like go up to Glacier and things like that?" And I was just like, "There's so many trails here that it's like." Glacier is like not a far drive by Montana standards either, but the 3 hours one way to get up to Glacier from Missoula just felt ridiculous when I could go drive 15 minutes to, not even 15 minutes to the Rattlesnake recreational area. And it feels like if this was in Ohio, this would be the place everybody would try to be every single weekend. And it's like, not even 10 minutes from my home.
Yeah, it reminds me honestly of the 14er thing here in Colorado. And, while there is a special, thing about the 14ers and the history, behind it, there's the trailheads are so crowded, and just that gets earlier and earlier in the morning every year, that there are like, I honestly, I don't even know how many 13ers there are, but the 13ers, you have the same exact view and just none of the crowds. And it's just another opportunity to get out and just see, beautiful terrain and everything like that. But no, back to the rut thing. I think that's a good plan. It's the most time you can spend up really high in those just really loose rock above tree line areas, and just getting comfortable with the footing and everything there. That's gonna pay dividends. And it's not like there aren't runnable parts of the rut. I think. I don't really remember my exact splits, but I think I went through the 10-mile mark in like 2.5 hours. And there's a pretty big uphill right off the bat up a fire road. So that, you can get some running in there. And then the last 5 miles are just switchbacks all the way down the mountain that are just blasts. So definitely, taking your fitness into that race will pay off. It probably won't pay off on the Bone Crusher Trail up to Lone Mountain, but you might breathe a little less hard or something like that, but then you'll be able to turn the legs over again towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, John, do we have a caller in the queue?
We do have a caller in the queue. It should be on now. Caleb, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Obviously tonight's topic is goals. So what do you got going on this year? What do you got coming up in your race schedule, and what are your main goals?
Oh, well, this is kind of like one of my favorite things. As a college coach, when I first start recruiting like a kid in high school, one of the first things I ask is, what are your goals? What do you see yourself doing, not only at your senior year of high school, but what do you see yourself doing in college? And it's really cool to see what they say and see what vision they have. And it's an opportunity for me to, kind of express what my goals for them would be and all that. So yeah, I love this stuff. It's different though when you look at your own goals though, because it kind of puts you on a spotlight. So, I kind of like what you were saying, like about having fun with it, because like there's parts in training that aren't fun, but like if you're not at the essence of it all, if you're not having fun, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. And like in every race I ran this year in 2021, I guess last year, I had a lot of fun. I mean, I got to run some cool new races. I got to run some races I've done before, and every one was just a unique experience that I really cherished and enjoyed. And I remember my sister during Rim to River took a picture of me at mile 57, the Fayette station. I just had this huge smile on my face and just like having a blast. And she posted a thing on Facebook about like how awesome it was. I was having like joy running. So I guess my main goal is to have fun, to do it for joy and not put, too much pressure to run certain times or to, finish in a certain spot. I think that's definitely the main thing, because, I was building up to hopefully run Bandera this Saturday, but it ultimately didn't happen. But I knew in training, I was trying to like overextend myself to be the best I could be. And I found like I came to a point, it was like early to mid-December where I wasn't having fun anymore. And I had a good talk with my dad. And he's like, dude, you shouldn't run Bandera. You're overextending yourself. You're putting yourself in an injury to run a race where, you think cool things could happen, but you could get injured while doing it. So that's the main thing. Have fun, put myself in a position to do as best I can, but really have fun. That's the main thing. I'm definitely excited for this year to do new races. A couple of races I've never done before. I don't know exactly what my race schedule is going to look like quite yet. I had to work some things out with my work schedule with track and everything, but I either want to run Strolling Gym 40 miler or the Canyons 100K. And there's really no goal going into that, just to have fun, to run as fast as I can, and to put myself in a good position to compete. And I guess that would be the main goal for all the races I run, is just to put myself in a good position, run as fast as I can, use the wisdom, I guess, that I've learned over the years to do what I can do. I'm very excited for a race I've done before, which I hasn't been run for 2 years, called Highland Sky 40 miler. It's a race that, I would say was the pristine race of West Virginia. Like all the studs of West Virginia would go to Highland Sky. It's technical, it's hilly, it's 40 miles, which is kind of a weird distance. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got runnable sections too. So I've never won it before. I've run it 3 times, got 5th, got 3rd, and got 2nd. So I guess the goal is to go out and just put myself in a position to win and see what happens. You never know what's going to happen there. And then I'd like to run 2 100-mile races. I want to do a late summer one. So I've entered the lottery for Leadville. Who knows if I'll get in or not. If I don't get in Leadville, which I kind of expecting not to, kind of hope I don't, just because it's at such a high elevation. Burning River. I think I want to do Burning River. And I watched the YouTube videos of the course, and I've seen Strava stuff, but really have no set goal for it. I just want to put myself in a position, have fun with it, and try to just go for it. And then the only other race I have on the schedule is Rim to River Part 3. So definitely excited for that one. I'd like to put a time goal down, but you never know. It's November in the New River Gorge. It could be 50 degrees, it could be 70 degrees, it could be 30 and rain. I don't know. So just want to go out there, compete, and have fun with it too.
Yeah,
I gotta say, Caleb, I was a little worried about your well-being when I saw your split coming through halfway at Rim to River just this past year. But, you held it together pretty well.
I tried to. It definitely helped being cooler. We were able to run decent. To be honest, I never looked at the watch to know what we were running. And if I did, I probably would have slowed down. But me and Dan were just having fun talking most of the time, and we made some breaks against each other, and just it was more of like a race rather than trying to run like a fast time. So yeah, but
It
other
was
than
though,
that, I guess the only other
wasn't that low 7 hour or so you went through the 50 mile?
yeah, what was it, like 7:11 or something like that?
Yeah,
7:16,
flying.
I think. Yeah, it was fun. It is. I mean, I never really ran a true 50-mile race before because like Grayson Highlands 50-miler was like 45 miles. Um, so yeah, I'll take that as my 50-mile PR, I guess.
I mean,
But
it's faster than a lot of folks' 50-mile PRs. Usually when you set a 50-mile PR and a 100-miler, the race doesn't end as well as it did for you.
typically not, no. Typically not. But that's one thing though. If you're having fun, you might as well try and see what happens. But I do have a couple other goals. I do want to run an FKT. I've never done that before. And I got a couple on my list of things I'd like to do. I don't know if we can make it work or not. But have you guys heard of the Greenbrier River Trail?
Nope.
The name sounds roughly familiar, but I couldn't tell you anything about it other than I've heard the name before.
Yeah, it's I think it's 78 miles on the Greenbrier River. And it goes from like Cass, West Virginia, which is in Pocahontas County, and it goes all the way down to like right past Lewisburg, West Virginia. And it's like some of the most beautiful like scenery ever. And you're right on the Greenbrier River. And the Greenbrier River Trail Marathon was the one we did before Rim to River. And I really love the area. And it's a crushed gravel trail, so it's definitely runnable. That's one I'd like to go for. Currently, it's held by a non-West Virginian, actually a guy from Blacksburg, Danny Rao, I think. And not anything. He's pretty cool. Follow him on Strava. I actually got to see him run a cross-country race in Virginia Tech. But I think West Virginia needs to hold that one. So that's definitely going to be on the list. And then there's one from Elkins, West Virginia, to Parsons. I'm going to try to go for. It's like 41, 42-ish miles. So we'll see. Never done anything like that before, but it just sounds really intriguing. Just go out and hammer for as long as you can, see what happens.
You going to go for unsupported, I'm assuming?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't mind being supported, but to be honest, it's hard for a lot of people to get out there. So it's probably easier just to go unsupported and have somebody at the finish line.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But other than that, the last goal I have is to really like do everything I can to like hype up the running scene in Huntington, West Virginia. For the longest time, it's not like a great place to run. For most people would think like, oh, Huntington, why would you want to run there? But we have some awesome trails nearby. We got a good little group that's slowly getting better and better, and adding more and more people to it. I don't know. I'm really excited about the people we got in here. Like Dan Green, Holly Ann, Alex Miner, Brandon Perry, Chris Simmons. We got a lot of good talent, and I want to do what I can to hype them up, to get them excited about races. I don't know. Whenever we do have an Instagram group that like talks to each other about which races we're going to run, and before like the week before each race, we try to like tell each other good luck and give them advice and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to, I don't know, showcase that better. Being a college coach kind of helps too, because I'm able to, when I'm recruiting, that's what I do, is hype up the area, hype up the school. So I just want to do that in the ultra scene as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, and I really love that you kind of have that community-oriented goal. I know, at least personally, I'm not going to try to speak for everybody, but when you think of Huntington, West Virginia, you think of like Marshall, but you think of like We Are Marshall or Randy Moss or something. You don't really think about the running scene there. Or at the very least, that's not the first thing that came to mind for me. Maybe I'm showing the fact that I grew up a football player, here. But I think that's a really admirable goal, to kind of show that like, hey, no, this is we've got a lot of talent here, and this is a great place to be.
Yeah, definitely. And we got a good running store close by, Robert's Running. They're great people. It's where half of my runners work at. And yeah, the trails, I mean, the Barstow 20 miler, that's literally 10 minutes away. Beach Fork State Park has some great trails as well. So I just want to help out the area, get people excited to come here and show that fast runners can come from Huntington, just because there hasn't really been a whole lot. Like you said, it's been more of a football, basketball town, I guess. Won't be any Missoula or anything Montana like by any means, but the East Coast has to represent somehow.
At the end of the day, it is a college town in the mountains. And I think Marshall might, you guys might be higher. Missoula, the University of Montana is still an FCS school. Isn't Marshall Division I now?
Yeah, we're FBS. Yeah, we're in Conference USA now, and then we'll be in the Sun Belt like next year or the year after that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely doing well, But yeah, thanks for calling in, Caleb, and letting us know about your goals. We are certainly, stoked to see what you could do next year. I mean, as you know, I'm definitely partial to strolling gym. I think that's almost like Huntington. That's a thing that doesn't get nearly as much love as it should. And I'd be real excited to see you there. But you have anything else to add to close out?
No, I mean, if you have any suggestions on or tips on how to run Burning River, that'd be great. Just being an Ohio race. Other than that, though, I'm just real excited, and I love to watch your guys' podcast, and glad to be here.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in, Caleb. We were stoked that you joined us tonight.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, see ya.
It's good to hear that he was going to do an Ohio race. I think that's the main question I was going to ask him, is when he's going to get into Ohio and start running some races around there and get into that scene a little bit too. So that's cool. It's good to hear.
Yeah, I had to hold back from suggesting he come do the 100 that's going to take place in Montana this year, because it's not quite late summer. It's a little different. There's 25,000 feet of elevation gain there, so it's not quite a Burning River level race.
Do you guys notice Wesley's here now?
We did. Does he want to introduce himself?
There he is.
I don't need to introduce myself. You guys did enough introductions for me already tonight. But yeah, it was cool to hear Caleb's thoughts and him talking about his goals for this year, and the decision to pull out of Bandera. Was obviously probably pretty tough on him, but I think it was the right call in this moment, and he's gonna have a massive 2022. So I'm super stoked to see what Caleb's doing this year, and I think whatever he's him and Dan Green and the rest of the people in the Huntington, West Virginia running scene, I think I'm so stoked for them, and I kind of think of it as like a mini Athens, Ohio, but I think now you could argue that Huntington, West Virginia is the place to be in the running scene on the East Coast, and Athens, Ohio is kind of fading in the spotlight. What do you guys think about that?
I think Huntington might be larger than Athens, Ohio, but I don't know for sure. So I was going to Google this, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's a
how
big.
you'd call it.
It's a bigger city for West Virginia standards for sure. But I was going to ask too, and just didn't get a chance. I was going to ask him if he had any specific, actions that he's taken in the terms of like building that community and things like that. I mean, he kind of answered it with, the camaraderie and connection, I guess, that a lot of those runners in the area have, and training together, of course, like we can see, right on Strava. That's a good way to start it too. But are there races down there in Huntington? Trail races?
I believe the closest one is going to be the Roman Run Wild 20 miler in Barbersville.
Yeah.
I will also say a quick Google search says that Huntington, West Virginia has about 20,000 more people than Athens, Ohio. So, we'll just hit the stats there real quick. Me, a big data guy.
True. We've got another caller in the queue here, so we'll bring our next caller in. Hello, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Awesome. You want to tell us who you are and some of your goals for this year?
Hi, this is Maggie, Sealander or Cellander, not sure. Myself. It's true. I don't know how to pronounce my last name. I'm also big Saggy on Strava. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so proud that I came up with that nickname, but I do have a pretty big goal that's coming up really soon, and that's to do at least 100 miles in the Ohio Backyard Ultra this March.
That's an awesome goal.
That's huge.
Yeah. I can't give you any advice because I've not done any backyard ultras, so I don't know whatever these guys got here.
And I was gonna say, we're
you
the
don't
wrong
wanna hear
group from us because none of us have actually hit 100 miles at Ohio's Backyard Ultra. As a wild fun fact that is.
I've hit 50 twice in a row. If you want to do that, I'm your guy.
Well,
she took that down her first try.
I was gonna. I'm not helpful here.
I made it to 58 last year, and that was the first ultra attempt I ever did. So I'm optimistic. I'm a little intimidated that you guys are saying you haven't done it yet. And I was looking at the lady leaderboard, and it looks like maybe not a lot of people have.
I think that's one of maybe the misconceptions with the Backyard Ultra is that, you think it's so easy to go out there and run, 14, 15-minute pace, and do 100 miles. But at the end of the day, it is a 100-mile race in 24 hours with controlled breaks. And, you have to be a runner who is leveled throughout that time. You can't have super bad low moments and sit in a chair for maybe 9 minutes, but you can't do 20 minutes or something like that. So what strategies do you kind of have to do that, to kind of handle that situation when it comes up?
Well, that made me think. I was like, yeah, sometimes I do like to sit in a chair and like pout for 20 or 40 minutes out in the woods, but I don't think that'll happen. My biggest strategy to kind of go along with the theme is to try to have fun, to not, I think if you get caught up on a number or a time or a certain outcome, like the mental energy just zaps you so quick. But the benefit of this race is that I barely knew anybody last year at all. So I was already like anxiety fried and like overwhelmed meeting so many people. But everybody's so positive and nice and there to help, and all your stuff is right there. So I don't have to worry this time about like my oatmeal cream pies being missing, which is the number one reason I pout. So I guess like to have fun, not get caught up, but to make the commitment to the goal is I think really drives me, because I really don't like not keeping my commitments.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think one thing that's interesting to note here is that you talk about OCPs with almost as much passion as Wesley does. Like, you got to be number 2 on the list of people who talk about OCPs with such passion. So
easily,
yeah. But I mean, they're pretty good. But like the way you said it, you were like,
I can't believe there's another person out there like that. I was like, okay, because I literally didn't know how to fuel my run. So I know they say like you're not supposed to eat something you never had on a run before, but I like sat down last year with myself. I'm like, what do I want to eat all day? Trying to run this much. I'm like, oatmeal cream pies, like hands down. That's all I ate, and it works.
Well, Maggie, you'll be happy to hear that. I think, when Wes and I started talking about OCPs back in the day, we have to give credit where it's due. And at least I know where I got it from. And it was from the inaugural OBU winner himself, Troy Allen. I don't know if you know that name, Maggie, but he used to be an Ohio guy, and he is a long trail hiker. And he just loves eating like junk food and stuff like that. And he was all about OCPs for at least a small time. And that's where I think, it kind of rekindled. Like, I liked them as a kid and stuff. And then, Wes and I started mixing those into some fueling strategies, I think.
I think your body just intuitively knows which junk food you need the most. Um, I, and I don't know. Like I'm maybe not the best person to go to for advice, or maybe what I do will work for a lot of people. I'm a real fly by the seat of my pants. Like I've been late. I mean, I've started late most of my races. That won't work for this one, but I think when you just figure things out on the go and you're flexible, it takes some of the pressure off that comes from overthinking.
Yeah, I
But
like what you said about
moderating your emotions.
not getting caught up in the number too. I think that's a good strategy. At least, obviously I haven't gone for 24 hours or that hit that 100 mile mark. But if I had to guess what the best strategy would be, is to not even think about what hour you're in, what lap you're in, how many miles you've done. Kind of just focus on something else, and maybe that's just like focus on the sunrise or something like that kind of lines up with that goal.
Anything that's going to help you when you catch yourself going into that headspace where you start to feel like your heart drop, or even like I have to watch out for like the glory fantasies of like I'm just going to run 200 miles, like magic, like fantasy in my head. Like that zaps energy too, to just find something like the sunset is good, or even like I'll roll my shoulders and take a breath and just reset as many times as I need to stay level. And that might be, especially towards the end, pretty constantly.
I know my main goal for that race, I want to show up there and be able to run, a healthy amount of miles, or maybe an unhealthy amount, but it's going to be kind of similar to yours. Like, no, I'm not picking a number or anything like that. I really just want to go. And once we get to the road, I want to just be able to spend as much time out there with George and Chadwick and hit those 55-minute yards every hour and just kind of roll with that as long as I can.
Yeah. I think that is definitely the best strategy for staying out of your head. And I know me personally, having a minimum goal is, especially if I know other people are holding me accountable or believing in me, I'm going to try really, really hard not to bow out of anything unless I think I might seriously be injured or at risk. But I also think this one in particular, I feel like I'm part of a team, especially with the Athens area women. I think there's going to be a lot of us. I think we're going to show up, and I know the importance of showing up for your team, and that's part of what I think is going to help me as well. Is I'm going to be there for others this time.
Yeah, I love to hear that. I love that community aspect, and that's great to hear that you're gonna, in addition to running, be helping everyone else out along the way. Because it's like how most of us got started, anyways. Someone else helped us along the way.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving back. Cause I just Jessica Koppelwitz just put me in a random tent full of boys that I barely knew or didn't know at all, and everyone in there took care of me, kept me alive. I'm ready to return some favors. And I now know what a chafing cream is, so that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, and shout out to Isaac Gibson. He was kind of the man with the plan, and he was crewing, I think, all of us in the tent there for a while. He was on top of it. So I don't know if he's going to be back, but I sure hope he finds a way to get down there.
I hope so too. I still hear his voice in my ear saying, "Drink your water. Good job drinking your water." It helps so much.
I can imagine him saying that right now as well. It just sounds like his character. You got any
So
other-
Maggie, before we let you go here, we want to touch on your final goals and anything else that you may have for us. But one thing I do want to comment on is, are you gonna take home the #1 spot in the Southeast Ohio Winter Virtual Challenge?
For most miles.
Yes.
I don't know. I think the Athenian, what's their name? Athenian Ridge Runner group. There are some contenders in there, and I managed to sprain both my toes on my first run, but it doesn't hurt too bad. But
I got
yeah,
I got my
to
dark
beat
horse
them all.
contender. My dark horse contender is another OBU personality that you might remember. I don't know if you know John Williams, but I happened to check him out on the virtual challenge leaderboard, and he set an individual goal of 400 miles. So it's pretty hardy. So hopefully we can see John logging those big miles. And he's a guy who's going to do it with a lot of elevation gain too.
I'm going to say I definitely want to defeat every single person in every single way. And I'm going to try, and I'm going to surely be humbled in in some amazing way. Yeah. That would be cool if I won.
It'd be amazing. That would feel really good to win to that, on this highly coveted.
See what I mean about the
virtual
glory
challenge.
fantasy?
Yeah.
We're pulling for you. Ridge
just
Runners
keep
have
going
your
out there.
support.
Doing it. Keep getting it out every day. We're going to check leaderboards. We're going to give Maggie updates on every show from now on out.
Absolutely. If you need one of the four of us to sandbag, because we're all in danger of winning this.
She's gonna beat every single one of us. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, easy. It's a guarantee.
Now I wish I had my headset on and was running during this talk. Oh, regrets.
You could sneak some miles in afterwards, like what Wesley did before he joined the show anyways.
That's what we hear, yeah.
Rumor has it.
At the very least, I will defeat Wesley.
Wow, shots fired. I will be running officially now after VOSS Talks tonight, so it will be 2 feet of snow on the ground in Missoula, Montana, but I'll make sure to get some nighttime miles in, so I appreciate the motivation, Maggie.
It's just friendly competition. But yeah, that would be a cool goal. I'll go ahead and set that now.
Awesome. Well, do you have anything else for us?
I did want to try. I learned that they won't just let you into any race. Like sometimes you have to prove that you won't die out there. So my goal is to be able to qualify for Hellbender 100 for next year, and I hope to get into the Barkley Fall Classic as well. I just think that will be so fun.
What do you have to do for Hellbender? What's the qualification there?
100. It doesn't have to be necessarily an official 100. But I think it was 100 with 14,000 elevation miler, or 100K with 10,000 elevation.
Yeah, that's interesting. My tip for Barkley Fall Classic is if you're not already on the wait list, and this is a big tip for Ridge Runner Nation, I'm sure it's already out there, but hop on the wait list this year for the race. You may or may not get in, but you'll get like an automatic priority registration for next year's race, and it kind of just helps guarantee that you'll be in the race for the following year. So that's kind of what I did the 2 years that I was about to run the race, and I did run the race one time, so that's the pro tip there.
Okay, I got on the wait list, I think the day it opened, something like that. So I'll keep my fingers crossed, but I'm glad to know that it's next year for sure.
And it is literally like one of the wait lists where it's like a total random draw. And so like you may get pulled, and I know the year I got pulled, accepted and then took a new job in Philadelphia, like I got pulled in mid-May and I was like, well, I have no idea where I'll be in September, but I got to accept this in the chance that I can actually run this race. So just definitely keep checking your email, especially your junk mail for Laz's emails, because those seem to come through different wavelengths.
I'm watching for it. So if it helps, like me and Anna Snyder would really like to run this together, universe.
Yeah, I think it's always good to put things like that out into the universe, frankly. Well, Maggie, do you have any closing comments?
I was just listening before I called in, and I was reminded of one of my favorite quotes, and I realized just that it really applies to ultra running, and it's the greatest gift you can give to another is not to I already messed it up. The greatest good you could do for another is not to give to him your gifts, but to reveal to him his own. And so I guess that's what I will close with, is like it's not just what you can give to another person, but it's like sharing with them, helping them to see that the strength and the good is already within them.
Love it.
That's a great quote. I think that's something, frankly, for all of us to think on. It's like don't give your gift to others, but make them realize what theirs is. That's really good. Thank you for sharing that with us, Maggie. Thanks for calling in.
No, thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Talk soon.
Yeah, I like that. That's also like, what I get from that is kind of in the whole theme of goal setting and things like that, is not to listen to other people's goals and make them your own either. Come up with, what matters to you and find that within yourself too.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. John, do we have anybody else on the line currently?
Actually, we do. Just joining right now. Logan, are you there?
I am here.
What is up? How's it going?
Good, man. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're having a blast just listening to everyone's goals, and definitely enjoying all the smack talking that's going on too on this channel. What kind of goals do you got for this year?
I got a few personal goals. One, I got to make it through May for when the wedding is with Rachel, and hopefully keep her from murdering me before that point. So that's probably goal number one. And then as far as running goals goes, I got I'm running in Old Dominion this year to kind of celebrate where Rachel and I had gotten engaged last year. So my two main goals at Old Dominion is a sub 18 hour. That's my A goal. And then my B goal is sub 14 hour or 19 hours and 43 minutes, so that Rachel can't do any smack talking to me.
I was going to say, B goal has to be beating Rachel.
It's incredible.
That's right.
You know what she would say though? If she's not in the race, it doesn't count.
Yeah, that's true. They actually I just got confirmation the other day that they were to let me into the race, and they said, if Rachel wants to enter, we'll definitely got a spot for her too. And I was like, oh, I'm not telling her that.
Well, she knows now.
She knows. She's got some other things on the calendar though. She's already going to be busy.
I was gonna say, because you both can't race the same race, you'll never really know. Because that's your rules, isn't
right?
It? Yeah. So you'll never know who's actually
Yeah.
faster.
So we met each other at in a 50K race, like 3 miles into a 50K, and sad to say, Rachel bested me by like 15 minutes in that race.
Well, we don't have to talk about
1-0 for life.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't have to
What
talk
an
about your
overlay.
failures here. We can talk about your goals for 2022, Logan. And I've been seeing recently on Strava, you've been dropping Rachel, leaving her in the dust in some of these workouts. Is that kind of what you're going to continue to do in 2022 with these workouts?
Wesley, that's the plan. So until she can get her butt in a little bit better shape, I do not plan on losing in any of our workouts.
Oh, Logan, you can't fall for that. Wesley is just trying to set you up right now.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Love it.
And then the other, I would say the other big goal for this year is to try to get my name on some course records. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that the quickest way to make that happen is right after we get married. Rachel's got to send that form in to UltraSign Up to get all of her course record name changes.
That's so I'm hearing that you're not gonna hyphenate. That's what I heard.
Oh no, there's definitely no hyphenation. That was one of the answers I had to get before I popped the question.
Oh man, that is quite the strategy. You guys think that's the only way I'm gonna get a Strava course record in my lifetime?
Quite possibly. The rate you've been going.
Yeah, I mean, Logan sees your Strava now, Cam, so I think he would probably agree with that.
No, but I will say, being as far as the way my running has gone over the last year or two, once you have somebody that you're in a relationship with that is as hard a worker as Rachel, you get better naturally just from being around somebody like that, right? So I would say probably my biggest goal overall is to be continuously supporting her to achieve whatever is next on her list.
Yeah, and if you're able to do that, and it's gonna kind of elevate you as well. So that's good.
Yeah, because right, I mean, you got to think about the amount of time that we spend as runners running, when you can spend that with somebody that you're also, making a life with. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And so, just being around someone that's determined as her, if I am trying to keep up with her or, trying to outrun her in a workout, it automatically makes me a better runner.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things when people talk about, running is a selfish sport, and, often people, in your life, they have to make sacrifices, if for you wanting to do these things, they come crew you, they spend time without you. So it's definitely, definitely something to have somebody who's going to be not just, right there with you crewing, but, most of the days right out the door with you there. That's definitely something,
Absolutely. What do you guys have plans? What are your big goals this year, Wesley?
Oh man, we're gonna have to dive into it here in a little bit, so I won't give any spoilers, but I'll give one right now since you so kindly asked. Is I will not be bamboozled anymore on any more Monday miles, and I will go 52 for 52 in 2022. I cannot wait to knock out every single Monday mile next year or this year. Let's lock it in. So
I can't wait to post when he doesn't. I'm gonna clip this for later.
John's out for savagery.
Confidence in 2022 is just, I think I need to change my goals. I just need to get to where John is.
Another level. It's another level. All those stairs today, I literally went to another level. So, but
Cool. Well, Logan, are we gonna see you at Promised Land again in 2022?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rachel will be more than likely running at Promised Land again this year.
Awesome. Well, I think a couple of us might.
Are all three of you guys coming, or all four of you guys coming?
I probably won't be there, but I don't know.
I think Voss is in for Promised Land. I'm like 99% positive on that. So he'll be there. Sweet.
I'm in.
Nice. Cam,
Well, Cam's got to come. He's probably got his car's probably still sitting up there on the parkway.
Not in the way of runners at all.
I wish I was more known for that, honestly. That'd be a better story if that was my reputation in the ultra running community. I'm the guy whose car broke down and blocked the Promised Land course. But yeah, we'll have to see. I definitely have a different Subaru Forester here in Missoula, and that road trip would be quite a lot for it probably. So we'll see what late April looks like for me, and what the job situation is. If I'm still remote, if I'll make it out there.
Sweet.
Cam's in. Logan, do you have any final closing comments for us tonight?
Nah, man, I don't got anything else for you guys. I'll jump off, let some other people get in on the call.
Well, we appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. We really enjoyed kind of hearing from you and what your goals were for 2022. We're excited to see all of the course records you're about to acquire in this year as well. We cannot wait to see you continue to drop Rachel on workouts as well. Hope all is well with both of you guys.
Thank you, guys. You keep doing what you're doing. The show is awesome.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Logan.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Logan. Thank you.
See you guys.
And just like that, we've got our next caller already ready to join us. And who we got on the line right now?
Hey, everybody. This is Paul DeFord from Cincinnati, the Cincinnati's second favorite ultra runner, I think, behind the Andrew Waugh.
Is that self-proclaimed? Like, who gave you that title?
It all kind of just snowballed. I'm not really sure who started it. I just know that if it persists, a certain Harvey Lewis might have something to say about it.
I think he was too nice to say anything anyways.
Mm-hmm. I will say he's probably Cincinnati's favorite government teacher, right? Although I couldn't tell you the name of another one.
I having not been to Cincinnati Public Schools and having zero knowledge of the government teachers, I will absolutely say that he is the best government teacher.
You think we can just tell Redtail to edit the award that we're sending out to him for you really just add that onto the back, maybe?
Performance of the year, we'll throw on the back of it to be like, hey, also, side note.
Perfect.
So you got a big one this weekend. Talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm going for pure enjoyment in the Night Owl half marathon this weekend. So going real big. Just trying not to fall as many times as I did the first Night Owl that I did, and then also trying not to get lost like I did in the summer version of the Night Owl. I will say that we got lost on the second lap, so we'd already done the first lap not getting lost, and then doing the second lap we got lost because Brian Ames kind of took us into an interesting parking lot that we got turned around in. So my goal for this year is to not get lost in the gigantic parking lot that happened. So we'll see. But other than that, I'm just going there to have fun and watch the golden boy, the star child that is Andrew Waugh, as he tries to take the crown on the full marathon.
Nick, as a new secondary, you're the closest host we have, in Ridge Runner Nation as a part of the Cincinnati ultra running scene. What tips do you have for Paul here at this Cincinnati race?
Well, I don't know. I can't offer too much. I think I've only run at Caesars Creek once myself, and it was, I think, in like the late spring, early summer, and there was like a ton of rain that happened. So I think one of the trail sections down by the lake, we had to hike through like knee deep water for a quarter mile, and unfortunately that was a 2-lap course. But no, I think Paul's going to do just fine. especially since he's taking those lofty goals of just having fun.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's going to go better than last time because as someone who was born in the great white north state of Michigan, I can tell you that the cold is where I operate the best. And having run this course in the June version, and like it being 89 degrees at the start time, I just know it's going to be a much better experience no matter what because of that. So.
Yeah, another team cold weather runner. There we go.
Hey,
Can't have it.
That's how I got through Rim. That's for sure.
Speaking of Rim to River, Caleb Owen in the chat just asked you, are you returning for 2022?
So I am going to return not as a participant, but as a pacer. My star pacer for 2021, Michael Newhall, is running Rim for his first 100 miler. So we're going to swap positions. I'm going to be his pacer for the back half so that I can actually see for the last 30 miles or so. As I don't know if Caleb's aware, but I lost vision in my right eye from mile 70 on to the rest of the race. So I'm just excited to be able to have both eyes intact for the final stretch.
Yeah, that's intense right there. I mean, but you missed out on so much of that course. Like, the whole right side of that course, you're just gonna finally get to see it, like you were talking about. So that'll be
Well,
exciting.
It is an out and back. It's just the left eye on the way out.
It's not a true out and back though. There are different portions on the way back that were not there on the way there. And actually it was funny because we got turned around a little bit because the aid station at 71 was supposed to be, I think, at like 69 or 70 on the course map. And so there's people all around us that like were turning around on the course because they like thought that they missed it or missed a turn or something. And then finally we got to the Christmas theme station with its very enticing fire and background playing Elf. So that was a very good sight, even though that was kind of the last thing that I saw out of my right eye before I lost it. But we made it through, and Michael made sure that I didn't entirely die. I'm glad it's over with, and it was a great experience.
Caleb wants to know if you're bringing muffins this year.
Yeah, so I will absolutely bring Caleb muffins if he would like. He just has to tell me what kind he wants. I brought blueberry streusel this past time because I thought that it might be something I would want to eat potentially as ultra fuel, and I absolutely did not. So I had a couple muffins left over, which was a nice post race snack. I have no 100 miler on the record this year. I promised my wife I wouldn't do that again, but I am hoping to get into Hellgate in December, so that's going to be my biggest race of the year, hopefully.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if you're taking bread orders for Rim to River there, Paul, I would like some chocolate chip muffins if you don't mind making a couple for myself there. I would greatly appreciate that.
Well, in continuing the tradition of talking smack, I mean, I'm not going to be running it myself, but because I'll be there and I have to, back up my boy Michael, Wesley, if you come near my runner, I will go back on, the threat that was made before and push you into the new river. So I'm just saying, you might want to tread carefully, my friend.
I mean, where's Michael going to finish at this race? I mean, like 250th place? I mean, I don't know where Michael's going to be hanging out at Rim to River, so you better let him know that he better come trained up for this one.
Yeah, Paul, haven't you heard? We're talking to the 89th fastest ultra runner in the male 20 to 29 age group.
But I will tell you this. I guarantee you that Michael will finish OBU with more miles than you have, Wes.
No, that's actually not true. Michael Newhall is he's backed out of OBU.
Oh no!
So Michael Newhall has a
breaking news
boy that is coming out inside the next week or so. So, he just said 220th place. Yeah, but Michael's gonna have a new baby boy coming soon to a Cincinnati near you. So he has his priorities straight, and he is bowing out. But he and I will hopefully be there to pay or to crew our star child Andrew Waugh as he takes on whatever Wesley wants to bring.
I love that. What else do you got for us tonight, Paul?
I just wanted to say I can use all of the fast vibes and fast thoughts because I'm trying to break my wife's marathon record, since I haven't actually run a faster marathon than her before. So I'm running the Carmel, Indiana marathon in April, like the second weekend in April. So I'm actually trying to train for speed for the first time in my life, which is a very weird concept, but I think we're going to have a good time with it. So
what are you most looking forward to with that? And how are you kind of learning how to transition into that, speed world when you maybe haven't done it a ton in the past?
So I've trained for speed for like short distance races before, but not anything really that structured. And knowing me, I would absolutely hurt myself if I tried to do it all on my own. So I actually did decide to hire a coach. So I have Alex Gold as my coach now, and I think I'm in pretty good hands as he coaches, I think, probably 3/4 of, the Cincinnati ultra and, ultra running community here anyways. But, it'll be a fun little challenge, and I won't be doing, 50-mile weekends for a long time, or hopefully ever again. So that'll be a nice change in and of itself. I'm excited for those intervals that I see Andrew doing all the time. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're pumped to see them as well. And, you've got that soccer background. So when are we playing that Wesley Harton versus Cincinnati soccer game, too? We got to get that on the calendar for this year.
Anytime, any place, any field, any ball. I will take you down. We can do it the night before Rim if you're really feeling gutsy about it. We can
let's do it the night after, actually. Yeah, night after. I'll be. That's the only chance you have to beat me in a soccer match is when I'm kind of a little sore and slower. So
okay,
that's
okay. If it makes you feel any better, I'll use my left foot.
Well, yeah, you're probably left-footed. What position do you play?
Every position, but as long as you don't put me in net, I have zero hand-eye coordination.
That's the best soccer player that's played, his answer right there. They're like, as long as you don't put me a goalie, they're like a real player. So we appreciate that, Paul.
Absolutely, anytime.
Cool, man. Well, we really appreciate you joining us tonight and kind of giving us your goals. And, the banter was, obviously electric. So we're excited to see you go out there, crush your marathon and everything else you've got going on in 2022. We're excited to see you get after it. And good luck this weekend at the Night Owl Trail Half Marathon.
Yeah, dude, as long as I don't fall 80 times like I did the first time, I'll count that as a W. And then if anybody has any special ins with Horton to get me into Hellgate, I've already got Michael Newhall going to be working on it, but that's going to be my winter attempt for 2022 is to get into Hellgate. So we'll see.
I hear on one of our other episodes you're supposed to write Horton poems, so get at me because I technically have a bachelor's in creative writing.
Well, I'm hopefully finishing my PhD this April, so maybe I'll channel some of my thesis writing into poetry. We'll see what happens.
I would love to see that.
No one wants to see that.
Yeah, we're gonna call you back. We're gonna have you come back on the show later in the year and expect to hear some of these poems live, so Horton can really make sure he gets to see them.
Yeah, I'll get right on that just for you.
Awesome.
Paul's poems.
Paul's poems.
Paul's poems. Yep, exactly.
Or poetry with Paul.
Either or.
Hey,
it's our next live show.
I was going to say, he just invented a new segment, Poetry with Paul.
We'll just call it Pastries
Yeah,
and Poems.
Poetry with Paul. We'll do it while we run some trails. It'll be a good time.
Awesome.
I would pay money to see that. I don't know about anybody else, but
have my people talk to your people. Andrew Waugh is my publicity manager. He and I have already established this, so I'll get you into contact with the right people.
Yeah, just let them know what my Gmail is, and we'll sort this out.
All right, I'll send you my fees.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Paul. We really appreciate it.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye. Man, everyone's got some awesome goals this year.
It's a big year. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are kind of, 2020 was 2020, 2021 still kind of started a little slow. And, I think 2022 is like, kind of everyone's like, oh, now we're finally back to kind of, life again. And I think that's an interesting topic in its own right. But, I'm excited. I think there's legitimate energy around 2022. And I know, Cam kind of shared his thoughts on it. I think, Nick, have you given your goals yet for this year?
No, I haven't.
I would love to hear those.
Yeah, I can kind of roll through that pretty quick, I think, because I think I heard something last year that kind of spoke to me a little more, and it was not to have too many goals, because if you have too many, then you kind of like lose sight on, the things that are important. And I think that kind of just came to me last week, and our buddy John, kind of just gave me a little bit of a call out. And I think, the overarching theme of the goal, what was yours? It was have fun and run fast. Mine's
was be kind, get fast.
Be kind, get fast. That's it. But mine's just going to be just to make John proud. Just everything I do just needs to go back to just making John proud again. I feel like we lost it, and John and I just need to reconnect and get that relationship right.
Yeah, next time he's in Cincinnati, you're gonna see some great videos coming out from us, vlog style from some runs around there.
No, but in terms of races and stuff, I kind of broke it down a little bit like Cam did, and I don't necessarily have like A races and B races or things like that, but I have races that I'm doing that are kind of more just for fun. And I've actually even put that like on my training log, for those races, that the only goal for those is to have fun. And so those races, the first one is Gorge Waterfalls 50K. I would love to, be able to kind of put in solid training before that race and try and show up and give it my best. But I think realistically, knowing that I'm going to put a lot of effort into OBU, it's a pretty quick turnaround after that. So it's just going to be more of a go there, have fun with you guys out at Gorge Waterfalls. And I'm excited to watch, 2 of the 4 Ridge runners run the 100K the day before too. So sorry to throw spoiler alerts in there too, but that'll be fun. And then my other kind of like for fun race is probably going to end up being the Rut. I really like that race. I'm glad to be back in it. I've signed up for 2 of the races that weekend. So I'm going to do the Vertical K on Friday, get a little taste of Lone Mountain, and then have a little recovery day, and then Sunday run the 50K. Honestly, like I don't know if I can even, go faster than I did a few years ago. So that one is, it's also coming kind of on the tails of one of my main goals for the year. And that's to go back to Never Summer 100K, and get the full course done there after I DNF'd in 2019 there. So that's kind of one of the main ones. We mentioned before, I'm going to be back at Promised Land. I would still like to do well there. I would just really like that course. It kind of suits me well, because it does have a little bit more of that climbing aspect, but it has gravel roads that you can run, and it's just a really fun race. So that's kind of in a nutshell, a rundown through the races and goals for this year in racing. And then I don't know, maybe there'll be a little bit of a surprise at the end of the year, something back east maybe.
So are you gonna beat Cam, or is Cam gonna beat you?
I think it depends on who has more fun.
That's a very diplomatic answer, considering the comments we made last year around the same time.
True.
I don't think I've ever
Let's
lost
see.
to Cam. So
I don't think anyone ever
I
has.
was like,
Not
has anyone on
lost
this
to-
chat
like, not
ever
beat Cam.
lost to Cam? I don't think it's happened.
Yeah. No, John, I think if it'll make you proud, Nick and I will just run the whole thing hand in hand and just skip
Yes.
all 50 kilometers. You
That
know?
would be amazing. And like you have to walk onto the waterfalls together and stuff like that too. So
oh man.
Yeah, we'll get some
Photo op.
very romantic pictures for Instagram. Yeah.
I love it.
If I'm not doing the 50K now, what the heck?
You can always drop
Hey,
it,
missed
right?
out.
You and John are also in the 100K.
Yeah, that's the big spoiler there. All 4 of us are going to be at Gorge Waterfalls. So April's going to be just a regular old party for us.
Mm-hmm.
Any final questions for Nick? Anything we want to pepper him with? Make him change his goals or anything like that? You know, we can really hit him externally before we wrap up.
I'm just concerned about how he talked about how he was, he's in for Run the Rut. Registration doesn't open till the 11th. I've definitely got the calendar notifications. Yeah.
Priority?
Yeah, I'm already in, dude.
That's a little concerning to me, but I'm gonna go to
No,
Runner's Edge and have a
it's
complaint.
No, there's a lot of people in already. They come
Okay.
from deferrals from 2020. So you could
okay,
either defer to last year or this year. And I wasn't able to make it work out with other race plans and things like that last year. So
Mhm.
I waited until this year. So this week is that priority registration. But luckily it allowed me to sign up for the Vertical K, which is the one that sells out the fastest. So just having a priority registration allowed me to sign up for as many of those races in the trifecta that I wanted to. I wasn't quite ready to do that though. I don't. People are not right in the head who want to go up that mountain three days in a row.
I mean, yeah, but I think that's the sport. We do have a chat question for you, Nick. Now that we've got that hammered out, and I don't have to go make a complaint downtown. But Paul DeFord, our resident muffin man, wants to know, Nick, how do you feel about stealing Claire away to Golden?
I honestly, Wes was putting big talks on Montana. He showed the license plate, the picture of the license plate today. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I got to move to Montana. So I don't know. We'll have to ask Claire, see if she's willing to go to Montana now.
I said you can totally register your address at my place as long as you visit us 4 times a year. That's only the requirement. I'll make that a requirement for anyone in Ridge Runner Nation. If you want to say you live with me, you can put your name on that, and all it takes is 4 visits, and we'll get you there. So
yeah, well,
or better yet, I might know somebody who needs a sublet for a 1-bedroom apartment. Just hit those Instagram DMs.
Well, to make Paul feel better, we'll come visit often. So don't worry.
He does say that.
He did say that Cincinnati is the Montana of Ohio, which I personally have some thoughts about. But we'll let that one slide, Paul. We like you.
Good times here. You got any other other goals besides just dominating Cam in races throughout the year?
Nah, dude, Nick's done with this stuff. He's like, I've got what I need to do. He's locked in. He's ready to go.
I mean, what are your goals with Winter Challenge here?
Yeah. So I guess that's the one thing I didn't talk about. I mentioned last show that I really like starting the year with the virtual challenge. It's fun, and with that, I think I'm trying to do a little more volume this year in general. I'm not going to put objective numbers to it or anything like that, but I'd like to just run more. I think that's kind of just every runner's goal, is either to run more, get faster, improve in some way. So, and I think for me, the thing that's going to help me most is trying to see if I can handle more volume. So, I'm trying for, I think I set 250 miles for the month, which would be like 70 more than I've ever done in a month. So we'll see how the body holds up and go for that.
It's awesome. It's like 90 more than I've ever done in a month. Maybe even more than that.
That's my exact That's my exact goal. So let's go, Nick.
Yeah, same here. Wow.
I don't know
It's
about,
almost like we're a team in this challenge or something.
yeah, I don't know. Teams. But no, it's good to hear. I mean, I last year, was starting the year strong. It's kind of what I did with what Wesley talked me into doing the run every day challenge. I think I made it like 33 days before I stopped. But I mean, it was just interesting to like start the year strong and like get it moving. So I like that method.
Yeah, I put miles on every single day of the month on the training plan. So we'll see.
Awesome. Wesley, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I'll dive in here. Kind of going off that is one thing that, if you follow me on Strava or, have seen my training in recent years, actually, I kind of like to start my year off with like a 60-day run streak, basically just through the winter months. Like usually once March hits, I'll, let that lax a little bit. But I think January and, February, for me personally, I think I just like having that consistency, even if it is only 1 mile every single day. So I'll be doing that throughout the SWVC challenge that we're in. So I'm excited to, start the year off with that challenge. But the other goals I have, obviously I mentioned the Monday mile, don't get bamboozled. But on top of that, I do want to PR in 5 distances in 2022. And I'm starting off with the 1 mile distance. I ran and this one's kind of, I got to figure this one out, but maybe Original Nation can help me out here. I ran a 4:35 last year at Promised Land, that 50K, doing some filming, but that was on a downhill, so I don't think that should truly count. Before that, most recently, I ran a 5:02 mile on a workout on December 7th. So right now, my goal is like 4:45. I think that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think 4:30 or anything like that on a flat track is where I need to be right now, but I think that's like a middle ground between the two. So
that was my question. Are you going to do it on the track or on like a road course? Because you can go a lot faster on the road.
No, I'll definitely be on a track. Yep, it'll be on the track wherever I do it. So,
So 1 mile.
that's I love, I don't know why, I just like, I wanted to like see like what I could do, and that was kind of the first distance, and it was one where I'm stretching a little bit because I didn't really have another race I wanted to run, but I feel like it'll kind of go with the theme of the year. What Cam said is kind of get quicker. And so that's kind of what all my goals will be here. But my 50K PR is 5:15 at Thunder Bunny 50K back in 2017. And, like we talked about on the Rim to River VOSS Talks show, a lot of my PRs are kind of older at this point, just based on, not racing a whole lot, or, doing tougher races with more vert, like the Barkley Fall Classic, et cetera, et cetera. And so, I'm really trying to be actionable and be excited about, trying different races in 2022. And with that, I'm starting off hot with the Arches 50K at the end of this month down in southern Utah in Moab. So that's going to be a fun one to hopefully break that 5:15 at. After that, race number 3 is either 50 miles / marathon. I don't know. I have nothing to talk about this one because we'll see which one kind of fits in the schedule at some point in the year. On top of that, 100K PR, and this PR is 14 hours just under that, set in 2017, and the action plan for that is Gorge Waterfall 100K. So, and another one that if I go out there, take care of business, run a smart race, I'm hopefully excited to PR in that one. And the final one, the big A race of the year, is Rim to River 100. Again in 2022. PR is 22:22:52, set in 2021. I'm excited to go out there and hopefully knock a couple minutes off that one again. But those are the races. Some of them are, I wouldn't say gimmies, because it's never a gimme to go out there and run 30 something miles at 5 hour pace, but 5 hour pace. But I have done training runs kind of in the similar time frame at this point in my life. So I just got to go out there and execute on race day and be excited about racing again. I kind of talked about, I think on our live show, Cam, I raced twice in 2021. I was at 10 other events throughout the year. And so, I really want to be, racing five races in this year. And last year was kind of a good year for me in terms of how I broke it up. Kind of started the year off, with some good training in preparation for Mohican 100. And then in the summer months, kind of took things as, like, let's just take the pressure off, not do anything super structured, but just have fun. Because in the summertime for me, I like to kind of do different adventures, go exploring in new areas. And I think that's incredibly important in the summer. And then, of course, from the river, it kind of gets serious again in August and start doing more specific work for that race. But the final statement I'll have here is continue to be at as many races as possible and continue to grow the sport. One of my friends was originally signed up to do the Arches 50K with me down in Moab, but unfortunately her injury is going to keep her out of it, but she's going to do the half marathon distance instead. But she's excited to kind of start running more ultras as well or her first ultra, I should say, in 2022 as well. And those experiences excite me as much as me going out there and doing it myself. Sort of like how Maggie's quote kind of wrapped up her statement there. Sharing those experiences with others is something I will hope to continue to do in 2021.
You got a year ahead of you, my friend. The chat is very active talking about your rimmed river here. Caleb's super excited. Holly wants to know you'll be top 5 this year. Basically, you need to be 19 to be top 5, sub 19 to be in the top 5. And they're also talking complete and total smack on the number of players it takes to beat you in soccer, which apparently is very little. So they're still on that part.
I guess I should have made more. I should have made more soccer rules. I'm trying to start a league here in Missoula now. I'm gonna be a community leader here, in that sense. Not really in the running world, but the pickup soccer game for sure. But Rim the River is gonna be a good one. I kind of talked some smack to Dan Green the other day. He posted on his Instagram kind of a similar thing I did. Talking about how excited he was for the race. He's like, I'm not finishing second place in 2022, and I just kind of laughed. I'm like, so you're finishing third place next year? And I'm not,
just unnecessary, really.
I'm not gonna lie, he did not take that super well, and I love Dan and everything like that, but he took it as well as I would have taken it for sure. So I'm hoping that not only he's motivated from that, but I'm hoping to kind of be closer to Dan, Caleb, and all the other super fast people that are at that race this upcoming year.
Yeah, I'm excited to be down there as well, hanging out, pacing you through that. Hopefully you go faster this year. Obviously, that's your goal. But it's really nice when you pace someone who's quick because I don't have to wait around at the aid stations very long. It's fantastic, and it's not crowded. So props.
Yeah, it's not crowded. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I never had that experience before because normally
It's
I'm
huge.
mid backpack. I'm in there the thick of shit. And, everyone's around, and I'm like, ah. And Wesley was one of 3 people coming through, and I'm like, oh, look at this. This is a game changer. But next year you're gonna be first, right? Everyone's gonna be cheering for you because you're first.
Yeah. No, that's not happening.
You need to be first all the way through at least Kennard, and then you can kind of hang out.
Yeah. I don't hate that
just
idea.
Stomp Caleb through there, because then you're gonna make him set a new PR because he's gonna try to keep up with you the whole time.
I mean, I feel like I could take him through 27 miles, maybe not 100, but Caleb 27, dude, for sure.
Sure.
Everyone's
We're
like,
friends.
no.
You're on the other side of the store behind me, so yeah, I'll let you have that one.
He's hitting the rewind button going, wait a second, this guy's 50 kpr is 5:15. I mean, honestly, Wesley, I was only 38 seconds behind you that time, so you should blow the doors off that down at Arches.
that was a good. I'm so glad I beat you that day too. I'd have been kind of disappointed. Ryan Kea and I.
You wouldn't have if it wasn't for Kea.
That's very true. He pulled me along there, and we made sure we took you down there.
Apparently, Paul did his 50K PR at Rim to River.
Yeah, and I hit my 50-mile PR. Technically, I don't count it, but personal reasons.
Personal best is what you would call that.
All right, John, it's up to you.
It's up to me.
What are you doing?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Going out here, crushing the 100-mile distance in 2021. He's now going into 2022. He's looking to run a 200-mile race. Breaking news.
What?
Let's do it, right? Yeah.
So
I heard he's in the Triple Crown.
Triple Crown. Let's go.
Triple
man,
Crown
I would
Johnny.
be single if that happened. 100%. I would not be in a relationship no longer. But Triple Crown, I don't know. No, but that 200-mile distance has been nagging at me for a while. So we'll see. Not this year, but I got to build to it still. This year's goals are shorter goals, so more towards like 50-mile, 100K distances. I've got the gorgeous waterfall 100K coming up. I want to set pretty much anything finishing there as a PR for 100K because I've never run one. So that's gonna be fun. But I would like to actually do pretty decent at it for me. Get that Western checkbox and go from there. Whether or not I'll actually ever go, I don't know. Probably like 12 years till maybe I'll actually be fast by then and can do something when I'm in the 40s, stuff like that. So, but I'm excited to train for that. I actually have a coach, so I'm not just winging it for this one. I'm trying to do it smart, and it's been working out pretty well. I haven't missed a training exercise yet, so that's good. We'll see what happens as the year progresses. But after that, I'm not sure. I'm in the Leadville lottery, so we'll see what happens here in about a week when that gets sent out, because that'll pretty much change the rest of the year for me. If I get into that, I'll have to figure out some way how to train for that here in Ohio, which I know can be done. We've had fellow Ohioans run and complete it, so. But yeah, so that's the main kind of stuff. I would like to maybe try to do some faster 50-milers towards the end of the year. I would love to see myself do a 50-mile in like the 10 to like 11-hour range. That would be pretty good for me in terms of what I can do. Maybe faster if I'm doing well throughout the year for my training. But that's pretty much it for my running goals.
You got any race ideas for that 50-mile maybe?
No, not yet. I guess it just depends. I'm waiting to see what happens, like I said, with Leadville, and then we'll go from there. But I've always thought about it would be fun to try to get into Shawnee because I've never done that. I've just been there numerous times, so I thought that would be kind of cool. I probably not setting no PRs there, but still
that'd be fast. It'd be fast if you get 10 hours there.
Oh yeah, but not happening there. But
JFK's out there. You could always go.
That is
try and run that race.
Yeah.
Return to your first love, Canal Corridor. Do the 50.
There's no 50.
Oh, there's not. No, really?
No,
is that breaking news?
Wait a minute.
No.
This isn't the 100-mile.
That's not breaking news.
I just had no idea there wasn't a 50-miler at that race. I did not know.
I think you're just thinking of Tunnel Hill.
That's probably
yeah.
Because I was gonna say Tunnel Hill, but then I was like, you gotta loop at the JD3.
I do think we need to let JD3 know that actually, the Triple Crown. That's what Paul DeFord thought the 3 was in your name for. We were Triple Crown Johnny over here.
Triple Crown Johnny.
If I ever complete the Triple Crown, I will make you all call me that from henceforth.
I'll change the contact to my phone today.
Yeah.
You guys are killing me.
That's also like 10 years of race entry fees that you'd have to put up for 1 year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to win the lottery. I'm gonna get on that too. I'm at it.
Yeah,
you just said
you're
you're
pay off
married.
my student loan debts to Candace Bird there.
But in Bitcoin,
Hey, she accepts Bitcoin. So
yeah.
We got some couple suggestions here. Craig Diatley says Damn Yeti 50 is a fast 50-miler, as well as Caleb Owen suggested the Cayuga Trails 50-miler as 2 good options as well.
Those are both later in the year, right? They're not.
I think Cayuga's early. I think it's June.
I was gonna say I think that's
or historically it is.
That's still probably a little early for me. I would probably go for more of like a September race. I think it starts to cool down just enough that it's like good running weather for setting PRs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know at Gorges, I have a goal of running at least one of my 50Ks faster than either Nick or Cam. So we'll see what happens there.
That's lofty, John. That's lofty.
But if it happens, I get to like talk shit all year.
I mean, if you're looking to run like a 12-hour 100K, then you could probably do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of climbing there, man. It's like 10K
So
or 12K.
it's only 12,000 feet. You know,
I think it's
Yeah.
11. Don't oversell it, but
I did not realize there was that much vert in that race when I signed up for it. Like, you guys like, oh, we're in this thing, like, let's do it all together. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. And I didn't realize I was signing up for the Shawnee 50. I thought I was kind of just hopping in a race to hop in something here. So
it still does run a little faster in general, because I think the downhills are pretty flowy and you can move on the downhills.
there's like that one climb
Yeah.
that's like 1,200 feet. It's just like that brutal, like that one looks like it's gonna be a fun one. But
that's 1,200 feet. They don't even call that a hill here in Montana. I'm like,
I was gonna say, there's
all of us over here to the right of me.
1,200-foot climb. I'm like, that's called Tuesday, John.
yeah, but it's funny though, because like when I was out with like Wesley and Utah, like yeah, that was just like a Tuesday. But you know, Ohio is a little hard to difficult to do that. Try to get that training in. So I got that.
Well, John, we're excited to see it. And your confidence, continue to grow. I think that's the one thing that, we've all kind of seen in the past couple little bit. And, your comments about, your 100K split being faster. But, I think that will kind of translate as long as you don't totally go down the CAM 2021 confidence, like, using all of that, just thinking you're going to have the year of your life here. If you just have like a 60%, you should be pretty good here. So we're excited for it.
I think Cam had a better shot of running 20 more miles than me at OBU than John does at running a faster 50K split though.
Hey, my confidence was at a
Wait a minute, didn't I
all-time
beat
high.
Cam and everything last year? Like what? How do you
did.
factor that? Where's your logic, Nick? Flawed.
I mean, well, honestly, I was motivated by that from Cam in the race. I was thinking like, oh, well, Cam's going to be up there at the next yard, so I'm going out too.
Yeah.
And then,
Little does Nick remember, I was behind him on every single yard.
Yeah, but you were at the start line, and then and then I saw
well,
you. And I saw you coming back.
He was at the start line every hour too. I mean, that's how that happens. Paul says I need to run some straight street repeats on Fridays.
Mm-hmm. You're used
Friday.
to that long commute. You can get down to
long
Cincinnati
drive.
for Hill, yeah?
I don't know. I'd have to leave at like midnight to get there when time they run. I don't even know what 4 a.m. is.
So that sounds like a plan, right?
I
Like that's
don't-
just
Yeah, I was going to say,
Wednesday
like,
night for Johnny.
that's going to be like me running the rut. Like, it'll be like, getting there 4 a.m. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Listen, Wesley, if you do that, I'll pay the race entry fee. I want to see that happen.
Oh, no, I'm definitely entering for sure. I'm gonna, definitely going to, it'll be like a B race for me too. So we're going to hopefully all be there running the rut together too.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that you're totally out on the race because you thought it was on Saturday, but now that it's on Sunday, it's like, oh, we're in, we're doing it now.
Well, I didn't realize. Yeah, I was off of work Sunday. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was Sunday at all. No one told me. So you guys got me let me know what day these races are. So yeah, I'm in.
It's Labor Day weekend. I don't know if those holidays apply to the new job.
It's shots all over the place. What else do we got here? Anything else before we wrap this VOSS Talks?
I think we broke a record today in terms of length of VOSS Talk show. So that's exciting.
Hey, shout out to us.
Shout out to us for talking for like hour and a half.
Shout out
45
to the
minutes.
call. Shout out to the callers.
Shout out to the
Yeah,
callers.
shout out to all four callers. Yeah. It was awesome to hear everyone's goals for the year and excited to move forward and actually get through them. 2022 is going to be a fantastic year.
Do we got any Ridge Runners breaking news that we want to talk about? I know Cam's always down to throw out some data or some stuff. So what do you think?
I've got no data except for I'm gonna want to see John's blood test data if he really does run a 50K split faster than me at Gorge Waterfalls, because your boy's been on the sauce if that happens.
Happily pay for it.
I will not an inside tracker test. I'm gonna call WADA.
How about
But
Quest?
just to be clear on that, John, you're going to beat both of us or one of us?
One of you.
Just one.
Okay.
I kind of like
So-
that.
Are you counting on me to like push Nick down at the start line, or?
I'm just counting on someone to bonk, and I'm just going to come flying through.
Well, you're not gonna come flying through because it's 100Ks on Saturday. We're gonna be crewing you actually. 50Ks.
Yeah, we're gonna
on
know.
Sunday.
We're gonna know that. We're gonna know what we have to beat. We got the advantage.
Oh,
You know, I
that's
actually
true.
just
Yeah, they
realized
do
this,
have it.
so I'm definitely gonna trip someone on Sunday. So better watch where you're walking, gentlemen.
Maybe his plan is to tear up the course as much as possible.
I'm gonna like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like
Mhm.
just take one of your shoes apart and just kind of like loosely glue it back together. Yeah.
Don't
So,
give
like,
those secrets away now. Now I'm gonna be prepared.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna be sleeping.
You
with
think-
shoes the
you
night
think-
before now?
You think Nick needs more foot pain out there at these races? I mean, come on.
It's never
Really
happened in a
just-
50K. Never happened.
I can't believe this guy brought up Feedy Hurdy an hour and 48 minutes into a VOSS Talks.
It's true. But I'm excited. I'm really, really excited though for April. So if anyone else from Return Nation is gonna join or gonna be out there, let us know. It's gonna be an absolute blast. The four of us are just gonna be like, just obviously dominating the courses, and Wesley's gonna get a PR. I'm gonna get a PR, and Nick's gonna get a PR, and then I'll beat Cam.
I'll also be there. My 5K PRs or my 50K PR is really soft, so like it's legitimately like 7 hours 50 minutes, I think.
I think you got that.
Yeah, I think
John's
you can
like,
beat that.
John's like, yep, right where I want him. That was literally John's reaction.
It's like perfect. Can you run another one of those?
What's the best he's gonna take off? 5 minutes?
I hope he takes off like 2 hours. But
So we're sub 10 Johnny hit 100K.
hey, I'm still gonna beat one of you guys, but I'm still supportive of you. I want to make sure you guys finish and get good times. So
Okay. Mhm.
on that note, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. This has been an incredible VOSS Talks. Thanks to everyone at Ridge Runner Nation, like we said earlier, who called in, was in the chat tonight for this long episode. We love kind of doing our goals, and more goals. This was the second annual one, and we'll make sure we're back next year too for the third annual, fourth annual, fifth annual. We'll just keep doing this thing until Nick tells us to stop. That's kind of my mantra in life. So. We appreciate everyone in Ridge Runner Nation. We'll talk to you guys next week on another live show. Peace out.